Across this war-torn battlescape, the forces of Nurgle, Slaanesh, are facing off against the Drukhari. In this ITC mission, we have Shane bring his army once again. Will the Drukhari finally clinch victory from the jaws of defeat, or will the Nurgle and Chaos forces prove disastrous for the Drukhari once more? This time, Lilith Hesperex and Urien Rakarth have graced their presence in this carnival of pain. Let's begin. Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast Battle Report. Today we've got the forces of Nurgle versus Drukhari. Oh, some Slaanesh in there, right, Shane?
Yep.
Some Slaanesh. We're playing ITC Championship Mission 2. So we've got one objective in each deployment zone and one in the middle. The bonus point is to score the one in the middle and your opponent's objective. For secondary objectives, Shane has gone for Big Game Hunter on my force. He's gone for Headhunter, and for Old School, I've gone for Big Game Hunter, Recon, and Old School as well. So 12 inches up, I'm going to start deploying. Pre-game, I've spent a command point to make Urien Rakarth a Warlord, as well as Lilith Hesperex, as well as my Archon. And I've spent another command point to give my secondary Archon the Helm of Spite. So, let's dive in by looking at the armies, and then we shall return as we deploy. So we'll be deploying, you'll be looking at the armies, and when we come back, we'll be magically finished. Okay, let's begin. Okay, guys, here we have 2,000 points of Drukhari. So we've got 2 battalion detachments, and we have 1 spearhead detachment. We have the Cabal of the Black Heart, led by the Drakon. 2 Drakons. Archon Skari is taking leeway. The Blade has decided to sit this one out. But he sent his cronies because we have 2 main characters. We've got Lilith Hesperex and Urien Rakarth in the battle, and 1 Succubus. So that's all 5 HQ choices. We've got 3 units of Cabalite Warriors, each with a blaster. We have a unit of Scourge with 4 Haywire Blasters, a Raider, a Ravager with triple disintegrator cannons, the mighty Tantalus, which we haven't seen in a while. Very excited to showcase the Tantalus in battle. We have a 2nd Ravager with triple disintegrator cannons and a Venom with dual splinter cannons. In the Witch Battalion, which is the Cult of Strife, we have 3 minimum units of witches. That's it. 3 units of 5 witches. And then Urien Rakarth has brought his flesh monsters. We have 6 Grotesques, 2 Taloses with stinger pods, a Kronos with a spirit probe, and Urien Rakarth himself. So this is 2,000 points of Drukhari ready to face off against the forces of Chaos. Let's take a look at what Shane has brought to the match. And here we have Shane's Death Guard and Alpha Legion list. So Shane, take it away. What have you brought today?
Okay, so I got a Death Guard battalion. So leading the charge is the Demon Prince with wings, 2 Malefic Talons with a separating plate. I have a Chaos Sorcerer and Termite Armor with Force Axe and Combi Bolter.
Very cool.
Troops are 2 Poxwalker squads of 10 and a 10-man Cultist squad.
Yeah.
Followed by 3 Bloat Drones, all with dual Plague Spitters.
Yeah, those are the flamers, right?
Yep. And then I have a Hellforged Leviathan Dreadnought with the dual Butcher Cannons.
Love that unit.
Dual Flamers.
Yep.
And then in the Alpha Legion Patrol Detachment, I have a Chaos Lord with Jump Pack.
Yeah.
He's just bare bones, followed by 10 Cultists.
Yeah.
2 squads of Slaanesh Obliterators. And then a Helldrake.
Very cool. And that is 2,000 points of ITC format. Okay. What are you most excited about in the list?
Probably the Oblits and the Forge World Dread.
Yeah, Leviathan, Forge World Dreadnought.
First game.
That thing is nasty as all heck. Okay, let's move on to the game. And we have magically deployed while you took a look at the armies.
True.
So I've deployed a unit of Cultist Strife Witches. I've deployed 2 Taluses and a Kronos, a Venom with 5 Cabalite Warriors, 6 Grotesques supported by Uri and Rakarth. We have the Tantalus with 2 units of Cabalite Warriors with Blasters and 5 Witches, and my Warlord in there, Labyrinthine Cunning, and the Muse Relic. In this Raider, I have the other Archon with the Helm of Spite, Lilith, the Succubus, and 5 more Witches. I have 5 Scourge with Haywire Blasters in reserve, and I have used Screaming Jets for 2 of my Ravagers, and I finished deploying first, whereas the Nurgle forces have 2 units of Obliterators in teleport dome thingies, the Jetpack Lord and the Terminator Sorcerer, all in Deep Strike. We have Poxwalkers and Poxwalkers, Helldrake, Leviathan, Warlord, Bloat Drone, Bloat Drone, Bloat Drone, Alpha Legion Cultists, and Nurgle Cultists. Cool. And that's that. Well, that's pretty much all but she wrote, eh?
Yep.
Awesome. So we're gonna go on to our first turn, and we shall roll on camera. The Drukhari do get the +1. Let's see what happens. Hiya! I rolled a 7.
I rolled the exact opposite.
The exact opposite. Would you like to try and seize?
Sure.
Okay. And they do not. So with that, Shane, let's begin the game. On to turn 1 for the Drukhari. And with a pointy part of his hand, he points at the forces of chaos and says, "Advance!" Okay, Drukhari, turn 1. So, what did I do? I moved some witches to kind of take up some space. Moved the flesh beasts forward with the Taloses and the Kronos, keeping Urien within 6 inches of everybody. Moved the Venom up and then charged into that Blight Drone. Got a good 11-inch charge. So I have Recon this turn because I've put them in that corner as well. I brought both of my Ravagers down to my deployment zone after disembarking my Warlord, giving everybody rerolls 1s to hit and wound, and these shot into the Helldrake and murdered the Helldrake. It did not explode. Everything else shot into these Poxwalkers. I killed 6, so there's 4 left. So, that is the end of turn 1, and I did get first strike. I did get 1 I did get 1 recon point, and I got 1 big game hunter point. And I do hold an objective, and I killed a unit. So now we're moving on to turn 1 for Nurgle and Slaanesh. On to the first. Okay, Nurgle, turn 1. We had Shane essentially move his whole flank towards this side, focused mostly on my Venom. Venom did soak up 3 drones worth of firepower and 2 units of cultists before it died. And then in the explosion, I lost 2 Cabalites. They just deployed back here. And then the Leviathan Dreadnought in the back opened up on the Talos that used to be here and murdered it. Did 10 damage. I was unable to save that Talos. So, he killed more, he holds 1, he killed 1, he got old school. So he had a 4-point turn to my 5-point turn. Cool. So we're moving on to turn 2. And his Librarian did Deep Strike back there. And he still has both units of Obliterators and a Lord scheduled to come in when he wants to start killing stuff. Okay, moving on to next turn. Turn 2. Drukhari, turn 2. The bunker of rerolls has moved this way. And a lot of shooting into that bloat drone. Left it with 1 wound left. It survived. The Talos has charged in and put 2 wounds on that bloat drone and taken 2 wounds in return. Meanwhile, the 2 succubuses, essentially Lilith and the other one, jumped out, killed a couple of Poxwalkers in combat, did not as good as I would have hoped. And then the witches charged into here and killed a Poxwalker, but they killed 2 Poxwalkers but lost 1 of their number. So they added a Poxwalker. So we're moving on to turn 2 for the Nurgle. I got another recon point and I hold an objective. But now will be the turning point, as I wasn't able to... See, my plan was to kill the Poxwalkers and then use the Cult of Strife stratagem to jump into the Demon Prince and start attacking him as well. But that didn't happen. Okay, moving on to the next turn. And the death of Lilith Hesperax. As the Demon Prince charged in, I interrupted and then forgot he had the separating plate. So she died. She got mortal wounded to death because she had lots of attacks, but that came to bite her in the butt. Killed 1 more Poxwalker here with these witches. Can't really see them, but they're fighting some Poxwalkers. My succubus is surrounded, so she can't fall back, but she's taken a wound. My Talos killed one of the drones that charged in to try stop him from, getting into this area here with all the cultists. And I did lose the Raider, as the Leviathan Dreadnought just murdered the Raider. The Lord and the Obliterators have not come in yet, so they will have to come in next turn. Which is interesting, because that's the firepower, and so it's just been a cat and mouse game so far. Okay, let's move on to turn 3. At the end of that turn, I got 3 points for hold 1 and hold more and kill 1. And he got kill more, killed, and hold. He also got a Headhunter and a Big Game Hunter. I got a Big Game Hunter point as well. Okay, so right now, as it stands, it's 9 to 10 points. So it's a 1-point game. Moving into turn. Drukhari turn 3 started with the bunker essentially moving the bunker. The Ravagers and Tantalus moving up to get some line of sight on that side of the board. With the Scourge coming in from Deep Strike, I was able to knock out one of the drones was shooting. The other drone was brought down. I charged in the Talos and Urien with a long charge. Killed the drone. The drone exploded, killing the Talos, putting 2 wounds on Urien from the 2 explosions. Urien's Casket of Flensing killed 6 Alpha Legion cultists, so they all died. And then the Grotesques had a long charge through the crater here. They were able to get into the Nurgle cultists, and I wiped them out. And then on this side, the Witches finally killed the Poxwalkers they were fighting, and the Succubus has 2 Poxwalkers left, but the Demon Prince and the Leviathan Dreadnought are still okay. The Sorcerer is still okay, and we still have 2 units of Obliterators ready to come down. So I did kill something, I hold objectives, and now it's where do the Obliterators show up in order to turn the fight around. Okay, moving on to turn 3. Let's see what happens. End of Nurgle and Slaanesh, turn 3. So the Obliterators deep struck really close to my lines. 1 Obliterator unit. I rolled really well for the saves on the Scourge. I only lost 2 Scourge from them shooting. And then the Leviathan Dreadnought in the corner, and that unit of Oblits did 17 wounds to my Tantalus. I did use -1 to hit stratagem, and I even used a reroll to reroll an invulnerable save to keep her alive, but she passed 3 feel no pains that she needed to pass in order to stay alive. So she's alive with 1 wound left. I did lose the Succubus as the Demon Prince jumped in and murdered my Succubus in combat. But this was definitely a swing turn. I killed more, I hold more. So right now, the game has swung into the Drukhari favor. But with the Firebase and the Leviathan still going, still have the Grotesque back there. So we'll see what happens as we move into turn 4. Okay, turn 4. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think. Tell me what you would do in this situation. Would you play conservatively, or would you charge and go forth and try and get as many points as you can? Drukhari, turn 4. So, the Scourge moved into the middle. We had the Archon, lots of shooting, killed a unit of a Blitz. I killed 2 out of these 3. I've taken that Lord down to 1 wound after the Witches charged in, but the Witches lost 2 of their number. The Kronos has kind of moved this way. I do get a bonus point because I hold that objective with 3 OBSEC models and the center objective. And the Grotesques failed their charge against the Leviathan, even with a reroll. Uri and Rakarth died in combat with the Sorcerer. And now we're moving on to turn 4 for the Chaos Space Marines. Let's see what they can conjure up at this time. Okay, so Chaos turn 4. Demon Prince and Leviathan moved in, shot and charged, killed 4 of the Grotesques. There's 2 left alive. I put 2 mortal wounds in combat on the Demon Prince. So they're fighting it out over there. On this flank, this Lord killed the Witches that were here. And my Archon put 1 wound on that Obliterator. Meanwhile, on this flank, the 2 Flamers from the Leviathan Dreadnought failed to kill the 3 Witches. He only hit 3 times, which was terrible. And he holds that one, I hold this one, so nobody holds more. But we're moving on to turn 5 now. Can I get Warlord? We shall see. And the other one will be Old School, so it's just trying to get Warlord, Linebreaker, and then killing something in the last battle round. So let's see how that happens. Okay, moving on to turn 5. Okay, so turn 5 for the Drukhari. So I fired and killed the Obliterator and the Lord, and I had 1 Ravager fire into the Leviathan, just to show you what kind of rolling we had this game. I did, out of 9 shots, I did 5 wounds on 5 pluses against the Leviathan Dreadnought, and he failed 5 out of 5 invulnerable saves. That did 10 damage to the Leviathan Dreadnought, and he only had 10 wounds left. So with that, the game is over. And the Drukhari have taken the victory. That's finally won for the Drukhari against Shane's Nurgle. Now, your list, though, Shane, is different. Like, in your competitive list, you're switching up a few things. Yep. You know, what is it that makes this list work? Because there was a few elements you put in just because I wanted to film a battle report and you wanted to put some primed models in. Yep. And not use any proxies. But what is in your main list that you're planning to take?
So main list, instead of the Helldrake and the 2 squads of Obliterators, I believe I only have the 1 squad of Oblitz.
Still Slaanesh?
Still Slaanesh, so I can double shoot with Lord coming down. Instead of the Death Guard Sorcerer, it's actually an Alpha Legion Sorcerer, so the detachments are switched around. It's a Alpha Legion Battalion with a 40-man Cultist Bomb up close, in your face, lock units down, double tap and fire if I want, which is pretty good for getting rid of screens. You can Veterans of the Long War on them, so if they're attacking stuff that's toughness 3, they're actually wounding on 3s, which is super, super good. Yeah, like a little bit, one more command point, because the Death Guard is an Outrider detachment instead of the battalion, so just a little bit of a switcheroo there. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks a lot for watching, guys. You know, make sure you leave a comment down below. This is definitely an ITC mission, you know, and so we were, if you don't know what the championship missions are, make sure you check the Frontline Gaming website to get the ITC missions. Very simple to score and to play, and they're a fantastic series of 6 different missions. So thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. This is Skari, your grateful host. I hope you enjoyed it. Be a scourge and share the message by sharing the video battle report. Bye-bye.
It's an exclusive. We're playing the game.